because he was here when I walked in the door, and he's, as always, on time. Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Schutz and Ms. Cannington, Mr. Wadja, did I pronounce that right? And Ms. Howell, thank you, all of you, for being here today. This is a very important issue. And this question's for Dr. Schutz. So my state, the state of Arizona, is currently dealing with a rather historic heat wave, multiple days in a row in Phoenix, where the temperature has hit at least 110 degrees. The other day when I was there, it was 118. And it's been above 110 pretty much every day of the month here in July. And the National Weather Service indicates that temperatures are going to remain above average for the rest of the month. And you've probably seen some of these headlines, and I expect you've also seen headlines on the study that found out that if there's a blackout in Phoenix during a heat wave, 50% of the city's population could possibly need emergency medical attention. And Phoenix has a population of over Maricopa County's about half the population of the state, so over 3 million people. Now, we are fortunate that Phoenix has a pretty strong electrical grid, but these extreme weather events are happening more frequently. And the low temperatures aren't really that low anymore. And we know that older adults are at risk due to extreme heat. And if you're in an older home, you're more likely not to have air conditioning. We've seen that last week with some individuals. You're also not likely to have effective insulation in an older home, or you're not likely to have window shading, all of which can become very dangerous in these times of extreme heat. The federal government, by the way, supports weatherization assistance, which can make homes safer and better prepared to respond to extreme weather events. But Dr. Schutz, are we maximizing the use of these resources from the federal government that supports weatherization assistance?
That's a great question. Thanks, Senator Kelly. The short answer is no. We're not doing a great job of getting the weatherization money into the hands of people who need it and into homes to provide all the sorts of adaptive features that you mentioned. We talked before the recess that there are a number of ways that, in general, home retrofits could be made easier. The weatherization program is undersubscribed. A lot of people who would be eligible for assistance don't know that they're eligible and so don't apply. It's a very onerous process to apply and get access to that, to go through the screening process for income, to have the home energy audit done. And so thinking about ways to make that easier to access. This also should work nicely with some of the funding in the Inflation Reduction Act that's more focused on energy efficiency, but the two of those together, so things like insulation and replacing windows and doors, upgrading heating and cooling systems, particularly cooling systems in Arizona, those are really important for making the homes safer and healthier for people, and bringing down also energy usage so that people are spending less on their energy bill and the system stays current.
Happy Wednesday, friends! They just made a huge announcement. The Federal Reserve has officially raised interest rates to the highest level since 2001. There is also a debate over a recently proposed guaranteed income program. And through this plan, thousands of Americans will receive monthly stimulus payments that are worth $1,000. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for the latest news. Also, I will be announcing several more winners for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure you enter the giveaway, friends, by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Today, the Federal Reserve raised a target range for its benchmark interest rate by 0.25% and left the door open for more rate hikes later this year. Today's rate increase brings the Fed's policy rate to a new range of 5.25% to 5.5%. That is the highest level since March 2001. This rate hike marks the central bank's 11th increase since March 2022 and comes after the Fed held rates steady in June. In its statement this week, the Fed signaled future rate hikes. The decision was unanimous, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said in a press conference today. The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go. Powell also added that bringing down inflation is likely to require a period of below-trend growth and some softening of the labor market conditions. Fed officials added that they will continue to assess additional information and its implications for monetary policy, reiterating in their statement that they still view inflation as elevated. This is despite a cooler reading on inflation in June. So when asked today whether the Fed plans to raise rates on every other meeting after holding rates unchanged in June, Jerome Powell said, "We haven't made a decision to go to every other meeting. It is not something we looked at." Back in June, officials penciled in 2 more rate hikes for the second half of this year, based on higher expectations for core inflation. But now the Fed expects inflation to end the year closer to 4%, up from 3.6% previously, and nearly double the Fed's inflation target. Inflation data out earlier this month showed that on a core basis, which removes a more volatile cost of food and gas, inflation rose 4.8% over the prior year in June. Officials also upgraded their assessment of the economy, characterizing growth as a moderate, up from modest last meeting. During his press conference, Powell noted that the Fed's staff economic forecast no longer sees the U.S. economy falling into a recession this year. So now gas prices are also being adjusted. The months-long calm in gas prices is now over. The national average price for a gallon of regular gasoline surged by 4 cents on Tuesday to $3.64. That marks the biggest one-day increase since June 7, 2022. However, gas prices are much lower today than they were last summer, when they spiked above $5 a gallon. As recently as July 4th, gas prices had experienced a nearly unprecedented year-over-year decline. The unwelcome shift in higher gas prices follows a jump in oil prices, which have climbed to 3-month highs as part of a broader rally in commodities. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about the Fed raising rates once again? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Some researchers have argued that the federal stimulus payments, including monthly child tax credits, were a mass universal basic income experiment. The idea of universal basic income is to provide regular cash payments with no strings attached. This is to create an income floor that would help prevent poverty. More targeted versions of the idea are known as basic income or guaranteed income. The federal stimulus plan, which had some eligibility requirements, was designed to provide economic relief to Americans who were affected by the crisis. The data from the latest U.S. Census Bureau showed most people used the extra money on basic household needs like grocery, or they paid down existing debt. Now a bill in the Oregon legislature is looking to set up a payment program that would provide $1,000 a month to low or no income residents of Oregon over a 2-year period. If passed, it would create the nation's first statewide guaranteed income program. The proposal has sparked heated debate on the idea of unconditional cash and how it could alleviate Oregon's homelessness and housing crisis. Also, the bill would appropriate $25 million to create the People's Housing Assistance Fund demonstration program. Residents of Oregon who earn at or below 60% of the area median income and are not receiving housing assistance will be eligible to participate in the pilot program. My dear friends, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure you enter these weekly giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on friends, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.